It's that sense of satisfaction. It's that sense of freedom. It's that sense of special feeling that you're aiming for. Good morning, and it's to week 2 of making you happy. Last week I talked about changing behavior, trying something different, particularly if you think you're in a cycle of, let's say, repetition that leads to the same results that you don't like. I gave examples of things you should do. For instance, try to keep calm in the moment, give yourself time to think. If you're doing a business project and you continually fall short at the same place, whether it's people, you find you don't have enough money, you don't have enough contacts, then perhaps taking an approach to where when you're thinking about business, try something different, nothing dramatic, just rather than, let's say, focusing on money, focus on your contacts, for instance, if contacts are the challenge. If money is the problem, then discussing with people, trying to find ways to sort of think about, right? How do I build that kind of capital? How do I build, you know, support in the areas of which you're weak? For me, particularly, it's been keeping calm, not suffering from anxiety, trying to keep one's emotions in check, not because it's the right thing to do or because it's, you know, the noble thing to do, but because in my life, being anxious can sometimes disrupt what I wish to do. So I want to change that. And the first time is never easy. The first time you may feel this isn't working for me and get very frustrated. But the point isn't about feeling frustrated. The point isn't about even change itself. The point is observing the changes in others as you start to change. So an example, you can influence the way people act. You can't change them with your actions. You can't give someone advice and they suddenly take your advice. But you can influence their behavior through your actions. Actions speaking louder than words. For instance, I think many of you have friends or ex-friends that you know you can say certain things to or behave in a certain way and they don't want to talk to you anymore. I have a friend whom who comes to me in times of need, let's say, and I listen, but I know that if I give this person advice, and they're not going to listen, I give this person advice, actually I know what's going to happen, they're not going to talk to me for a while, which is okay sometimes because it can be kind of burdensome to just listen to someone all the time, but I know this. I know that I can behave a certain way and produce some sort of result from people. So the difference is to change your behavior in a way that changes others' behavior. So for instance, you being quiet when you're usually a loud person, the first time people may ignore it. The second or third time they're like, something's different. They start to behave differently. So that's why I talk about changing your behavior to sort of build a change in other people. At the end of this, if you practice this, the goal we're aiming for is that if you can change your behavior in such a way that people are compelled to want to either be around you, to listen to you, or feel compelled to be in your sphere, you create a stronger network for yourself. So there's several steps to this. First step is to understand what kind of changes in your behavior are necessary, right? The second is to then start to use those changes of behavior to compel others. In my job, my desire is for my staff and the people who work with me to want to feel compelled to do certain things, to feel a certain way. And that takes lots and lots of practice and lots of self-analysis, but I get off the point about happiness. This first step, as I said before, is being able to analyze your behavior and start to do things slightly differently, consistently, get results, and then change some more. It's a continuous practice, but it produces results, no doubt. The second, as I talk about changing people, what's key to keep in mind is why you're doing it, right? There are those of you out there who are looking to perhaps change the mind of someone who you wish, to date or marry, or, there's someone you love out there and you want them to like you, or you have a boss or a colleague and you want them to give you a bonus, or you want your wife to make you cookies, or something like that, some sort of result, tangible result. But ask yourself, and this is the step 2, when you ask yourself as you're practicing this, why are you trying to change this person's behavior, right? It's not just about the money or the bonus you want from your boss, or the cookies you want for your wife, or the love you want from someone, or the attention, let's say, you want from someone. Though that's not really the reason. The reason you do things, a lot of times we do things, is there's an outcome from that. If someone loves you, you feel important. If someone loves you, you feel valued and special. If someone gives you a bonus, it gives you freedom, money to do things you wish to do, etc. Right? Wife gives you cookies, you get a full belly and a sense of satisfaction. It's that sense of satisfaction. It's that sense of freedom. It's that sense of special feeling that you're aiming for. So the reality is that when you start to think about what you're looking for, what truly is driving you, it will start to fundamentally change the behaviors you wish to change in yourself. You'll start to think, okay, well, you know what? I may never be able to control my boss and get all the money I want, but I can change my behavior to maybe plan to do things outside of work. Not just a side hustle, but meeting people to sort of expand your network, to perhaps create a business opportunity for yourself, a job opportunity for yourself. Someone wants you want someone to make you feel special. Well, maybe change your behavior to go out there and show the world or show yourself how much fun you can be. Focus on yourself, build up yourself, make your world and make yourself as interesting as possible. And you'll make yourself special. And then the people who are worth anything will see that. So by knowing why you're doing something, right, so step 2 leads into step 1. I say why you're doing it. Then you change your behavior. So for instance, I'll give you an example of just a metaphorical example. If I'm talking to my boss and I say, I want more money, I need to send kids to school, or I need to fix my foot or something like that, I cannot control my boss. And I could spend months and years trying to compel him or her to give me money. Give me money. But what I'm looking for is independence, freedom, and security. Those things I don't need my boss for. I could find another job. I could work on the side. I could do videos to build a following and maybe revenue on Facebook. And I change my behavior. Then I'll wake up early on Saturdays and make videos for people. Or I'll go out and run so I feel healthier and feel more energized. So step 2 in making yourself happy is understanding what it is you're looking for. If it is love, why is that love important? What does it make you feel? And then find ways to make yourself feel that way, right? If it's independence you're looking for, then find ways to slowly build your independence and your behavior will change. If he's listening, my friend who has the business of marketing people, marketing celebrities, etc. If your goal is to be rich and wealthy, build yourself a network, right? Build yourself a network of people, of influencers, build your network of people so that you're not going to people just when you need something. You're building trust over time, you're building relationships that, believe it or not, perhaps at some point someone will help you, right? I'm just, for an example, really at the end of the day, you have to do a lot of soul searching, figure out what you're trying to do. But at the end of the day, there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you understand your motivations and drive, you'll get there. You'll figure out what it is. You'll start changing your behavior, and then people will start to come to you because your behavior is compelling to them and not focused on something that may not even be true, right? It's not the money. It's the power, for instance. It's the security. It's not the love. It's feeling special and feeling unique in this world where none of us feel unique sometimes. If you can figure out the core of who you are, you'll find very easily that achieving those things really has very little to do with other people and more about ourselves, what we do with our time, what we do with our hopes and dreams and our minds, our bodies as well, and it will lead you towards your happiness. So this week, practice that. Think about, I want a cookie. Why do I want that cookie? I want a pleasant day at work, right? Why do you want that? This person across me, I want them to agree with me. I want them to do what I say. Why do you want that? Think about that and then find ways to make yourself feel that way. Even outside of this situation, outside of this person. Your behavior will change, your personality will change. The things you want may actually even change as well, but you have more control over your life. And that's where happiness starts. Practice this. Next week we'll come to the next step towards this happiness journey. And I hope this has been useful for you. I'm going to go back to my guitar to sort of relax from a long week and look forward to seeing you again.